Hello, Virgo, and welcome to your November 2024 tarot card reading. Now, before we get started, I wanted to let you know that on my website, I have posted an option to book a 2025 year ahead overview Zoom session with me. So if you want to sit down with me and do a one-on-one, we're going to pull tarot cards. We'll talk about all the transits that you can experience through the upcoming year. That is now available. So the way to book that is through the link in the description box and the comment thread down below. So get that on the books because I know 2025 is going to be here before you know it. And I'm so looking forward to sitting down with you one-on-one. It's going to be super fun. So let's go ahead and take a look here, Virgo. So what is it that you need to know for November 2024? November 24, let's see. Rest. Okay. Now, it doesn't mean you're not going to be doing anything, but it does feel like you may need to prioritize your self-care a little bit. You might need to prioritize your mental health, your physical health, and to kind of disconnect from certain behaviors that are kind of running you ragged. All right, especially if you're over obligating yourself or over giving yourself in some way. It's time for you to maybe find a new structure or a new way to kind of still accomplish what you want to accomplish, but in a way that's maybe more streamlined or is going to require less effort from you. Now, if you do have moments where you have to push in order to kind of get yourself over a hurdle, then yes, you do that. You pump the gas for a minute, right? You pump that gas pedal, but then you may need to slow down afterwards and just kind of give yourself time to recover. All right. So what else does Virgo need to know for November 2024 with the Moonology deck? We have prosperity lies ahead. Oh, and I love the green that's coming out. So it does indicate that there's some degree of abundance. Now, it could be financial for some of you, but it could also be emotional. There could be something really positive happening in your personal life, with your friendship groups, within your romantic relationships. But typically prosperity is kind of all encompassing. So it's more multifaceted. It may not be just one area. It's just a general improvement of your life. And it may feel like things are maybe going a bit easier. Now we'll see what the tarot cards have to say. I'm not trying to get too ahead of myself here, but it might feel like things are actually getting easier and you're not experiencing such pushback as what you've had lately. I do think Pluto coming into Capricorn, it has been so dense and it's Saturn ruled. Now Aquarius is also Saturn ruled, but it's a completely different way of Saturn rulership, right? Capricorn is where we learn all the really hard lessons. There's a lot of learning that goes on in Capricorn, and it's heavy and it's convoluted and it's nuanced, and there are extremely high demands. And so I think for the past couple of months, as Pluto dipped back in September, back in Capricorn, we kind of felt that lurch a little bit where we were like, ugh, okay, we're back in that dense world and things kind of slowed down again. We're like, well, why is it slowing down? Because it was going so great, maybe this summer things were looking really promising. And then all of a sudden there was kind of this, we went kind of back in our holes a little bit. Well, right now, Pluto is officially, November 19th, officially coming into Aquarius for good, never to return. So I do think we're going to feel that sense of freedom and liberation that Aquarius often brings because it's a much, much lower density archetype. And we're not going to, necessarily feel that energetic pushback that maybe we've been feeling. Plus, we also have Saturn stationing direct too on the 15th. So I think that middle of November, that's when we're really going to start to feel things turning around. Okay. So we have, this is why you need rest. You're all in your head. Okay. 9 of Swords. We also have the Eight of Cups is underrated in terms of difficulty level. It's a very difficult card because we know that prosperity lies beyond our comfort zone. But that means we have to leave that comfort zone behind. And it may also mean that we have to leave certain ambitions behind too. And that there were certain things in your life that maybe you sought out to achieve that you haven't achieved yet, that you're kind of saying, you know what, I don't know that that's still my goal anymore. I don't know that that's really where my focus is going to be. I don't know that I really want that anymore. I don't know that that's the direction I should be going. And so maybe you are leaving a lot, or maybe some open ends, and you're leaving things completely unfinished, which I know as a mutable sign can sometimes be a bit challenging because you're really all about the turnover, but you don't usually like to turn something over unless that initial thing is done, right? So this could be emotionally difficult for you because it may feel like a failure. It may feel like you haven't, fulfilled your end of the bargain or upheld your commitments to yourself. But because of the astrological environment and how much change that we've been experiencing, this is okay. It's okay to abandon certain tracks if they no longer align with the vision and with the vision of the future that you hold for yourself. And so I think with a heavy heart, you are looking around and saying goodbye and saying, this is not for me. So let me find something else. Let me find, and I don't know that you even really know for sure what that is with the Two of Swords. So that makes this Eight of Cups even that much more challenging because you're like, I'm willing to go into that unknown realm. I'm willing to take that risk and to have that faith and to go in that direction. But what direction? Two of Swords. There's a crossroads. So do you go left? Do you go right? And this is going to be one of those moments where I think you have to bite the bullet and pick something without a lot of knowing and without a lot of reassurance. And yes, Virgo, I think your mercurial mind is going to really start to feel that. Now, keep in mind that you are going to be going through a retrograde. Near the end of November, November 25th, Mercury officially retrogrades on the 22nd in Sagittarius, his sign of detriment. So it's not a strong Mercury at all. And for the majority of the month, he's going to be in pre-shadow, which often I see pre-shadow as being a lot more intense than the retrograde itself. That's when all the challenges set themselves up, right? And then we deal with them through the retrograde, and then post-shadow, we kind of bring things to resolution, and then we move on. So it's a really good 6-week period, 6 to 7 week period where we have to deal with this kind of stuff. And I don't know that you are mentally feeling secure. And I think you are doubting yourself a lot. Maybe, again, this is why you need rest. You're going to need to have to give yourself grace here. But keep in mind, this prosperity lies ahead. There is no real conflict. There aren't any real problems necessarily. It's just a feeling, and it's maybe rooted in a way that you saw yourself. To me, this looks like the shedding of an identity more than anything, which we know is going on with the North Node in Aries in your 8th house. Virgo is experiencing a lot of identity death right now, and it's experiencing a lot of, shedding of the skin and a lot of elimination, and it may have felt really challenging to feel like you were on top of stuff. And again, if you're feeling like you failed with something, the Nine of Swords, I think at this point is a choice where you can either choose to beat yourself up or not. No one is really looking at your life, Virgo. No one is really looking at you. No one is really judging you. No one is really doing or saying anything. It's just kind of how you're viewing yourself. So if you can, go easy on yourself. I know being a Virgo, it's hard because we are so critical of us. Not to mention we have this Mars retrograde building as well in the 12th house. So there does seem to be something going on with surrender and loss, okay? To be expected. So let's see what else comes out here for Virgo. Queen of Cups. The Fool. and the Page of Swords. So one of the themes, now I feel like I've said this in almost every reading, but one of the themes for the month of November is faith that's coming out, and that we are needing to be extremely faithful. This prosperity card, it didn't come out on accident, right? It didn't come out just to tease you or just to act as like a carrot on a stick, just to keep you in some kind of a rat race or something. It came out because it's saying, Virgo, this Eight of Cups motion, this moving away is going to be good for you. It's going to work out in your favor. As scary as it is, because it clearly is scary for you, Virgo. It's clearly a challenge. But I look at this Queen of Cups, and there is something inside your heart that says, no, this Eight of Cups, like, this is the path. This is it. The problem is you only have your intuition as a reference. There is no concrete evidence, really. And I know Virgo likes to look at the facts and figures. You like to look at the numbers on the spreadsheet sometimes, before you do stuff. You like to know that the risk that you're about to take has some promise. But you don't have that at all. And I think that's really where the Nine of Swords is coming in. It's like there is nothing but a leap of faith. That's all there is. Mentally exhausting, yes. Because the lack of surety and the lack of security, rather, can be quite draining and daunting. So we know how much we can doubt ourselves too. So when your intuition is saying, no, Virgo, it's okay, it's safe, your survival instincts are immediately going to kick in. The thing is that I do believe that your heart and head are coherent. That even though you don't have all the evidence or proof that it's going to bring you prosperity, you still in your head say, well, there could be prosperity there. I see no reason why there wouldn't be. So your head is like completely on board. Your heart is completely on board, but your survival instinct is absolutely not on board because it is a risk. And Virgo, the thing about Virgo energy, because you're mercurial, I don't see you being so restrained all the time. I do see my Virgos being willing because it's a very adaptable and flexible sign. So it's not rigid like, say, a fixed sign like Taurus or something, right? It's not rigid like that. So unless you have a lot of fixed energy in your chart, which maybe some of you do, but for the most part, your Virgo energy is like, no, I'm like, let's just go. Like, let's change it up. Let's shake it up. Let's be novel. Let's be exciting and adventurous about it, And that's the Fool. And that's the Fool part of you. I don't think this is the reality, but I think that you think you are being naive by taking this leap of faith. And there's a big hope that you're not being naive. And you're like, am I being an idiot? Am I being really stupid? Is this the dumbest thing I've ever done? Should I have done this? Should I have done that? I don't know. I mean, to me, that Nine of Swords tells me that there is nothing but doubt and questions while you're still going through the motions of Eight of Cups and the Fool. You're still moving on. You're still doing it. But in your head, you're like, this is not okay. This is really unsafe. I don't know if this, you're running through all the narratives. And that can really tear you up. And that might also be quite exhausting too. Now, what I like about the Page of Swords is the Page of Swords is really curious and playful. And there's an extraordinary willingness to learn. So that willingness to learn is really what's getting you, to this place of kind of just day by day, where you're willing to do it day by day and you're willing to tackle the obstacles as they come. But what's funny is I'm actually not seeing the obstacles. You move on, you leave this comfort zone, you take this leap of faith all in your head about it, and yet it's still smooth sailing. Now, we'll see what the third row has to say, but as it stands here, I'm not seeing any problems at all. And maybe that's a part of why you're like, Nine of Swords, this isn't right. This is supposed to be harder. This is supposed to be more problematic. This is supposed to be X, Y, and Z. It's like you don't trust it. You don't trust how well it's going or how well it's working. And so it's almost like you're trying to create problems here with the Nine of Swords when there are none, because clearly there are no problems. Okay, let's see what else comes out. Virgo, what else comes through for November? Now, with this third row, we're kind of entering Sagittarius season. This is after Pluto moves into Aquarius for good. Saturn has stationed direct opposite of you. We have now your Mercury also stationing retrograde here with this last card. So I love the Queens. I mean, you're coming out. I kind of like the divine feminine qualities here. The cups as a water element is feminine, and also the Queen is feminine. Queen is feminine, but the Wands is masculine. So we're getting a nice combination there. Masculine energy is really important right now, especially with Mars and Leo, because we want to exert effort into things. And I see the effort. I see the Eight of Cups. I see the Fool. These are action-oriented cards. You're actually doing the things. So even though you may be all up in here, you're still carrying through and going through the motions. Queen of Wands is tenacious. She's like, I always say she's like a bulldog. Once she gets her teeth sunk into something, she is not going to let go. There is an obsessive quality there. She pushes herself really hard. She makes sure that she puts her money where her mouth is. She is not going to allow herself to get away with stuff. And I think that has a lot to do with the Nine of Swords. The thing is that the Nine of Swords is you're going to be so aware of it. That's why I don't think it's going to stop you, because you know it's like, all right, that's just my survival. That's just me trying to preserve. But see, Pluto in Capricorn was all about preservation. That's why we fought so hard for stuff over the past 15 years. We fought so hard for those unhealthy relationships. We fought so hard for those financial endeavors. We fought so hard to make things work that just weren't working, because the desire, the obsession, which is Pluto, to control and to fix Capricorn and to, maintain Capricorn was so intense. That is not the case with Pluto in Aquarius. We are not going to try to keep things intact. We're willing to let things shatter. We're willing to bear the brunt of the chaos and the revolutionary energy. Like, we're willing to do that. So, we know the Nine of Swords is there, but it's not stopping us. And the Queen of Wands would never, ever, ever let her own negative thoughts get in the way of anything she's trying to do. She will acknowledge them in a healthy and meaningful way. And she'll say, okay, I'm feeling this today, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to still go to work. It doesn't mean I'm not still going to sit down at my desk and get this stuff done, because I will have all the doubt in the world and I will be beating myself up till the nth degree. But just because I'm doing that doesn't mean I can't still check off this task list item. Like, she doesn't really see the correlation there. It's like, yeah, you're feeling this, but it has nothing to do with this, so you can still do this. And she's going to push herself in that way. Now, of course, there's a sensitivity here. I'm not telling you to be like a robot, okay? I'm just using that as an extreme hyperbolic example. It's not, there is a sensitivity. So again, you are paying attention, and please do rest. That was one of the the first card that we came out, the Oracle card. So don't be afraid to take the time you need to detach and disconnect, to reset and reboot, because yes, this can be energetically draining. Okay, and we're going to need the energy for what's coming up. So now we have the Page of Coins which I do like the pages because on one hand, it's an element of you. It's your humility. I don't see Virgo being arrogant. I don't see you being inflated. I don't see your ego. I don't see you being your own problem with the exception of this. Like this is probably you questioning your capability, questioning your worth, your deservedness. You're questioning all sorts of things that don't really need to be questioned. But it does keep you humble at the same time. And so the more humble you are and the more humility you possess, the more likely you are to acquire a wealth of knowledge. And you are in an acquisition period in terms of learning, because this is an extraordinary learning experience. When you push yourself off a cliff in spite of yourself, you're going to learn a thing or two. Now, I also see the Page of Coins as being an offering of some kind. Although I don't know with the Ten of Swords right next to it if this offering is necessarily aligned with what you're wanting. Again, this Ten of Swords is certainly going to coincide with the Mercury retrograde. Okay, this is not a favorable position for Mercury at all. He's going to be in opposition with Jupiter. Jupiter is in detriment. Mercury is in detriment. They're in opposite signs. You know, they're neither one of these are very strong. It's in your fourth house, which is a very private, secretive, like in your private world type of a house. So there's a lot going on for Virgo that the world is not privy to. Very few people are going to realize that this is going on. Maybe your spouse will know. Maybe a partner, maybe a best friend. Other than that, not a lot of people are going to know. You're kind of going through this all on your own. This offering does not seem attractive to me. It does not seem all that exciting. And Virgo, I don't know that this is an offer that you're necessarily going to take. But that probably contributes here. Like, what I think this does, actually, now that I'm really sitting with it, it's like I'm trying to think of an example. Like, let's say you're wanting to like sell your house, okay, or something like that. You're trying to sell your house and you're getting offers for your house and you're like, that's just not enough money. I'm not even breaking even. I'm going to lose money on this deal. And so there's this part of you that's like, well, maybe what I need to do instead of selling my house is find a way to keep it while still being able to live in the other house that I'm trying to buy right now. Like, how can I have both? Or how can I, make this transition in a way where my offer that I'm getting isn't good enough or it's not attractive enough? So this lack of an offer, this thing that's kind of like down here and kind of mid, it's probably inspiring you to say, all right, that path is not the path. And this is connected here because this lack of offer is saying that original comfort zone, because this offer was coming from your comfort zone. It was coming from the way you saw it before, coming from the way that you thought it had to be. But right now, we're not trying to be locked in a box like this. We're only trying to achieve a goal. But the way to achieve that goal, like we can go a lot of different ways, right? All paths lead to Rome. We don't have to go down this one road only. There might be a better road. And I think this is the faith. The universe, I think, knows there's a better road for you. There knows there's a better option. And the lack of offer or the disappointing offer that you get is just proof that, like, okay, that's not the route to take. We have to find something else. So it's going to push you into a new approach. That's going to be where the prosperity is. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. Let's pull out the clarifiers, okay? So for those of you who are new, we're going to open up all these cards. We're going to pull out 3 cards per card, so 27 more cards total, and we're going to cover this in the comprehensive. We're going to talk for another 25 to 30 minutes, so it's like a whole second reading. So if you want to join, the link is in the description box in the comment thread down below, okay? So let's see what else comes through for us for Virgo for November. What do you need to know about the 8 of Cups here? We have the 5 of Swords, 3 of Wands, a 10 of Swords. Definitely linked here. I knew it. I had a feeling. 2 of Swords, another 9 of Swords. Now, keep in mind that these swords are probably just decision-making things. So it's not like your whole life is going awry. Okay, I don't want you to freak out about those swords. It's just you're going to be all in your head about stuff, and it might be really hard for you to make decisions about things. And you're going to be going back and forth and trying to figure it out, and there's the confusion, you know. Beautiful. I love that. Queen of Cups, Queen of Cups. Justice. Judgment. Oh, love Judgment. Oh, love Wheel of Fortune with the Prosperity card. 4 of Swords. Love 4 of Swords, especially after all these hefty cards here with the Empress, the Tower, Strength, and 5 of Coins. 2 of Cups. Beautiful. Ace of Cups, Page of Swords again, another Page of Swords. Yep, see, I see you walking away from that offer. That's what I'm seeing. Yeah, you're walking away from the offer. You're leaving something on the table and going to go find another route. All right, it's like you know better. Another page. Beautiful. Love that page. Okay. And oh, amazing. All right, Virgo. So this is where we're going to pick up in the comprehensive reading. So if you want to join, you're more than welcome. Thank you, Virgo. Have an amazing November, and I'll talk to you soon.